Before armies clashed on open plains, another war stirred in the shadows. Across deserts, mountains, and holy cities, ink traveled faster than steel, and whispered secrets carried more weight than spears. Hidden couriers galloped through moonless nights with letters sewn beneath their clothes. Scholars in Harar wrote codes that only the faithful could decipher. And deep in the Highlands, Galaudeos informants traded fear for survival. A single intercepted word could save a kingdom or doom it. In this unseen battlefield, silence was a shield, and knowledge was a blade sharper than any sword. This is the story of the unseen hands that shaped a kingdom. They moved when the world slept. Hooves thudded softly across sand, breath misting in the cold darkness as couriers slipped between enemy lines. Their letters carried warnings, troop counts, broken alliances, or prayers scribbled hurriedly in the dim glow of oil lamps. Many had no weapons, only the certainty that their speed meant life or death for thousands. Some rode for Imam Ahmad, loyal to Harar and the promise of unity. Others served the Christian crown, weaving through forests with messages bound for Galaudeos. None would be remembered by name, yet their bravery shaped every dawn that followed. Within Harar's clay and limestone walls, a quieter struggle unfolded. Scholars bent over parchment, dipping reeds into ink mixed with soot, charcoal, and whispered prayers. They spoke little. The weight of every letter sharpened their focus. Some messages traveled openly: orders, blessings, supply requests. Others hid meaning beneath phrases of Quranic verse or symbols scratched into the margins. A misplaced stroke could unravel entire campaigns. Candlelight flickered across their faces as they worked through the night, knowing their hands carried the intellect of a city and the hopes of a nation threatened by encroaching fire. Far across the Highlands, another network stirred. Galaudeos understood that strength alone could not counter Imam Ahmad's relentless advance. He relied on villagers who listened, merchants who memorized, priests who sensed shifts in the wind. They watched troop movements, counted campfires, followed whispers carried by refugees fleeing burnt villages. Their messages traveled through mountains and monasteries, protected by faith and fear alike. Each scrap of intelligence helped Galaudeos rebuild a broken army, stitch alliances, and survive long enough to seek foreign aid. In the shadows, his informants formed the nervous heartbeat of a kingdom under siege. One night, a courier rode with a letter that could change everything. a warning about an enemy flank, sealed in urgency and secrecy. But spies hunted spies, and shadows swallowed the honest and deceptive alike. The courier was captured before dawn. His letter, pried from a hidden seam inside his saddle, was read by those it was meant to ruin. Armies shifted, plans collapsed. A victory meant for sunrise crumbled before it began. In war, a single sentence could break years of loyalty. And in this moment, words, not weapons, rewrote the destiny of hundreds who never knew why they died. History rarely honors her, yet she shaped more than she survived. She moved between markets, gatherings, and camps, carrying secrets under a veil of silence. Some called her a messenger. Others whispered she served no side but truth. She decoded letters meant to ignite rebellion and warned families before raids struck. Her knowledge bridged borders, but it also condemned her. One night she vanished, taken by those who feared what she knew, mourned by those she protected. Her story was never written, but her absence echoed through every message that arrived too late. She was a shadow who saved lives. Not all messages were written. Across Afar deserts and Somali trade routes, travelers sent signals through smoke, ash, and coded gestures. A plume rising straight meant safety. A broken line warned of ambush. Merchants altered their camel ropes to indicate troop numbers. Water sellers adjusted the colors of their cloth to reveal which mountain passes remained open. This hidden language belonged to nomads, traders, and wanderers who understood the land better than any army. Through them, news spread like wind. Quiet, swift, unstoppable, binding distant regions into a single, nervous web of caution, courage, and survival. Some messages were destined to remain silent. One final letter, its words urgent, its ink barely dry, left Harar at dusk. It carried a warning that could have spared hundreds, but storms rose over the desert, scattering sand like blades. The courier lost his path. When the letter was found years later, its edges brittle, the seal broken by time, history had already swallowed the lives it might have saved. In its silence lay the truth of the unseen war, that victory and loss were often decided not by generals, but by fragile scraps of paper carried through merciless lands. We remember kings, queens, imams, generals. But history stands on the shoulders of the forgotten. The messengers who rode through darkness. The scholars who hid warnings in ink. The informants who risked their families. The nameless woman who walked between worlds. Their letters shaped battles no chronicler fully understood. Their silence guarded kingdoms. Their courage lived in footnotes and dust. Yet without them, neither victory nor survival would have been possible. In every age, the fate of nations rests not only on swords, but on the quiet hands that carry truth through the night.